Wonderful. Thank you, Phil, for having me today. Phil's introduction has been a perfect segue to what I'm going to be talking about. The biggest challenge here is, can I stop in 8 minutes? So I'm going to hold you all accountable for that one. Okay. So yes, today we're going to be talking about testing the future, right? So starting from testing code to actually testing intelligence. As we're going through this, I'm going to remind us, right? What is testing the future is actually thinking about testing another human. If you're interacting with another human and you want to actually, it's a new person you're meeting, you want to actually know whether they are good or not, or can I talk to them or not. What is the first thing that you think about? Trust, right? That's exactly what you're going to be putting in your mind, in the back of your mind, to say when you're testing intelligence, your key thing is you're going to test whether they are whatever output is trustworthy. So we're talking about the biggest shift in software testing right now is, for decades, we have been testing code. We have been testing machines where you give explicit coding information to say, this is how you need to follow it. So you know what you fed it, so you can validate what comes out of it. The generation that we are headed to is you are testing what to expect, where you did not explicitly totally program every single step. That's exactly what Phil was saying, right? You asked about a prompt, it gave about 14-pager. You don't know what to expect out of it. And you are going to now see whether what you saw is what you expect. So in the old world, which is the more deterministic era, the traditional software testing was about testing rules and logic, right? We wrote rules, we wrote logic, we checked input and output again, which was very definitive. I gave X, I'm expecting Y. So I can correlate to what to test. And the testing methodologies, unit test, integration test, regression, whether it's pass or fail. Honestly, in many organizations, including the one that I'm part of, we are still shifting left is writing unit test, right? So there's a lot of way to go through the transformation, but I'm going to try and plant that thought in our head, right? So the deterministic result is what we talked about. Let's enter into the new world. Testing intelligence is the era of adaptation. What do I mean by that? You're working with something that can learn because the system is trained off of data. You're working with something that's quickly adapting because the behavior evolves based on the patterns that is exposed to. You're working with something that can generalize because it is seeing multiple patterns and it can come up with one solution for you, and it could very well surprise us, right? We have heard about the hallucinations that AI can do. It can surprise you. So what are we going? We're basically moving from correctness to behavior here, right? We're moving basically just to not just the behavior. When I say behavior, you become a person who should evaluate ethics. You need to become a person who needs to evaluate psychology. You need to become the person who evaluates diversity. So the tester is not anymore just a QA tester, but they have taken a complete transformation of evaluating a lot more than that, right? So does it work is one part, but does it make sense? Is it fair? Is it safe? Is it even trustworthy, right? These aren't all these questions we ask ourselves when we meet a stranger, and whether you want to give a handshake or not in the back of the mind. That's the kind of thought I want us to think about when we are entering into the city. So there are 5 different dimensions that I want us to think about as what exactly am I testing? We are testing accuracy, yes, but it is whether it's mostly correct. That's the key word here. With the AI, it is mostly correct. Accuracy in our current word means it is correct, but AI, it's mostly correct because it is pattern recognition and generalization. We are checking robustness in terms of, does it break when a user behaves differently? When a child comes and presses these buttons, does it work the right way? When an angry customer talks to me, does it return with a more patient reply, or is it still giving me the canned information back, which makes the customer more angry, right? So those scenarios needs to be taken into account. Bias and fairness. If I'm opening this up globally, does the AI understand the different culture of the region that I'm opening it up to? Safety, is it giving me harmful, illegal, and dangerous responses? Because now AI is open to the entire world. Even my kid in high school is using ChatGPT to get responses. is it giving, when the kid is playing with some kind of a prompt, is it actually taking into account the danger of the responses that is giving to you? And explainability, right? That's what Phil was talking about. Can the user even understand what it's doing? It gave me a code. Yes, I can cut, paste, copy it. But can I understand if somebody does a PR review of my code? Can I talk through that overall, right? So definitely human in the middle is important right now for us to think about. So it is more of a mental transformation that we should be aiming for. So like I said, it's not QA anymore. It's ethics, it's psychology, data science, and basically a product design altogether, right? So in my mind, a person in a QA position has more power here than a developer who has been siloed into just writing a code, right? The QA has a lot more value to grow in this particular transformative world. So how to test this intelligence? I really wish I was going through whether I should go deep dive into the toolkit, arm you all with the toolkit on how to do each one of this. That'll be a much more technical thought. So I took a step back. So I won't deep dive into this, but if anybody is interested to know how do we actually test intelligence, feel free to reach back out to me. Happy to give you guys some of the tools around like red teaming or multiple logic related testing methodologies to help accomplish what you're doing in your organization if you're in this transformative journey. But again, beyond testing scripts, what we are doing is we are trying to simulate real-time humans, giving different personas to it. We are trying to test adversarial testing, right? Doing all of that. We are trying to diversify data sets because remember, the AI is learning off of a data set, right? So we are trying to diversify that. That's what QA need to start think about. How can I feed it a lot of different diverse data? Prediction monitoring. Your job is not done when you're finishing up the stories and I'm saying I'm done testing. You're going to also give a caveat. You're using AI here. It could go hallucinate even in production. So did you put the dashboards in here? Did you put all of these monitoring? Are you tracing how much it is actually skipping away from the real-time metrics? Even as a QA, talking this to your organization, to your developers, is going to make you stand out as the right person who's talking risks, right? So that is important. Continuous observation, not just the production day monitoring, but through 6 months, is the customer getting the right value out of it? If you are championing these as a QA to in your organization, of course, you are, I mean, this requires experience, right? So in my mind, it's the seniors who have this experience that you're going to be talking about to say, it's the entire life cycle that I need to be fielding, not just the junior level tactical methods. So basically, a tester becomes a critic, a storyteller, and also a risk spotter, which is huge for any organization. So ideally, what does testing the future mean? The testing the future means that can I trust that future, basically, right? The future tester basically asks, what do we value? What do we allow? What do we trust? Not just did it pass, right? That's taken away. That can be automated now. That's the AI job that can do it easily, but you add more value to the whole cycle. Should it exist this way or not is what you're going to be asking yourself. Thank you.